Good afternoon, everyone. I have the darndest trouble with this remote. Here's our agenda for today. I'll make a few, what was that? I have brief remarks, not as long as last time, so the people who groaned over there, you don't have to groan this week. Then we'll hear from our CEO, Erica. Jennifer will give her Monday market report, and I think she has some interesting news. Shan is our treasurer now, and she will give her the treasurer's report. Marianne will report on the minutes of our last meeting. Marcia Almquist is going to give us an update on the Employee Gift Fund for 2025. Bill Augusta is our new Vice President for Programs, and he will tell us a little bit about what's going on there. Carol has a spotlight, Carol Ottenberg, a spotlight on jigsaw puzzles. And May Gerstel and Laura Weiss will update us on the election forums coming up. And then we have a special report on bingo, banter, and beverages. And I'll leave that for Nancy to report about. Marianne Counts and Carol Soley will report on the upcoming photography show. And Bill Augusta is our new reporter on burning questions. So, most of you seem to enjoy the jokes that I've been telling at the beginning of the meetings. Enough so that several of you have passed along ones that you like to me. So I have 4 little jokes. You may want to groan for these, I don't know. But anyway, Les Cox had this one. Why does a car go faster than a bicycle? Because the bicycle is too tired. It's a groaner, all right. And this one is from Gordon Orions. Why did the ram fall off the cliff? Because it didn't see the U-turn. What do you call a line of men waiting for a haircut? A barbecue. And this is my personal favorite. What do you call a boomerang that doesn't come back? What was that? That's exactly right, a stick. Nancy, you get the award for figuring it out. Well, moving right along. I'd like to introduce our Residents' Council for 2026. Oh, and I need my list. It's the first meeting of 2026, and we're getting organized, or at least I am. Okay, you've met many of our resident council members already, but we have some new ones, and I'll tell you what their jobs are. So I'm the president, and I'm still trying to figure out what my job is. Bill Augusta next to me, and I'll ask each of you to stand or wave when I call your name. Bill Augusta is now the Vice President for Programs. Mary Koch is the Vice President for Administration. Marianne Counts is our new Secretary. Shan Cretin is now our treasurer. The resource person for activity rooms is Bill Jones. Our resource person for arts participation is John Longris, and he is out of town and couldn't be here. Pam Mitchell, is Pam here? Pam is not here, but she is continuing in her role with assisted living. Kathy Cullen over there is the resource person for community life. Kate Oliver at my left is responsible for the discussion groups. David Perrin, David over on my right, is a resource person for the education committees. Bonnie Miller is resource person for entertainment committees. Josie Miller is the resource person for environment and well-being. Karen Perret, resource person for the games, and Pat Waite, who also could not be here, is the person responsible for the social events. Many of you know Pat if you attended any of the parties for new residents. She's great at organizing that. We know she'll be great at helping to organize all the other events. And not to forget our other two members who are the co-chairs of the Monday Market, Jennifer Stucker and Elizabeth Hoover. We have a list of all of these members of the Residents' Council and also all of the committees and the chairs of those committees posted in the mailroom on the bulletin board. So if you want to know who's who and who to contact for any reason, you can find all that information there, as well as on HH Connect. And Bill Augusta may want to talk a little bit more about that. Let me say a few words about the West Tower transition. As you know, we have a committee that is working with administration on various changes and giving advice where we can and so forth. So at our last meeting, what we were working on was our goals for 2026. We think we accomplished quite a bit in 2025, and now we have other sorts of challenges in front of us. One of the main ones is how to integrate the new residents who will be coming into the West Tower. And we know there are lots of good ways to do that. One thing that we want to do is find out from the people who moved into the North Tower when that was very new, how it was that they were integrated in the community and began to feel comfortable here. So that will be one of the first steps. We want to hear from you at any and all times, any comments that you have, any things that you really love or things that you would like to see done a little differently in regard to the transition. Please let any of the committee members know. And there is, I have to update it, but there is a list of the committee members on the bulletin board. And from time to time, administration may want to confer with us about anything they have questions about. You know, what are residents thinking about this, that, or the other thing? Let me update you too on some of the action items that we had in 2025. Barbara McHarg, you may remember, was doing the POPs tour, the tours of privately owned public spaces that we can walk to. And they've been a really big hit. And she told me just a half hour ago that what she wants to do next is some walking tours of the neighborhood, First Hill neighborhood. And she will be doing that under the auspices of the Neighborhoods Committee. And then we want to have some outings every Wednesday afternoon. And how many of you have heard of any of the outings and what was going to happen. Ginny seems to be the only one. Oh, and Priscilla over there. That was an error that we're going to correct. They've been listed on K4, but we know that that's not the first place that you go to look for what's happening. You go to the elevator signs, you go to the alert, you go to signs in the mailroom and so on. And so we'll get that corrected because those were going to be very nice tours, but no one signed up because no one knew about it. Erica, are you pointing to? Oh, just looking for, there are a couple of chairs right up here at the front. Right over there. Then just leave. And now, of course, we know that progress is moving ahead on the dismantling of the West Wing, and I hope that you all had a chance to attend the program yesterday with the contractors and were able to see what's going on. Some of us thought that the action was happening only on the roof, but it looks as though it's happening inside as well. And some of it can be viewed from the Sky Lounge. I had a chance to see the view from one of the lucky residents of a D or E apartment, which is where you can really see more closely what's going on. But unless you have a good friend who lives in one of those, you might like to come up to the Sky Lounge and take a look. And we're thinking that maybe we should make it kind of a fun group event and maybe have a bring your own drink, cocktail party, or bring some appetizers and do that up in the Sky Lounge and all look down at the same time. And if somebody can tell us what we're looking about, we thought that would be a lot of fun. And now it's time to hear from our CEO.
Thank you so much, Ronnie. And this is our first Residence Council meeting of 2026. And so good to see all of you here. I know that this is a time period where many people head to different climates where there's a little bit more sunshine, but I will say we've had quite a sunny January. So I want to, open it up. I want to open up with bright spots. We've got a couple of agenda items to go through, just to let you know what's going on here, especially with the workforce. I always want to make sure you have kind of a window into what's happening. And so just to let you know, as a part of our 2026 objectives, and it was a part of our 2025 objectives as well, we're really focusing on leadership development. One of the things we know around retention is that people leave their direct supervisor or managers, not necessarily the organization. And so we want to make sure that our leaders are just well informed and everybody is on the same page. And so we've been doing quite a bit of investment in leadership development. And one of those investments was we had a great manager workshop. This is anybody who leads people. So this particular workshop was for people leaders. And it was a great workshop that was quite collaborative in determining the initiatives that will help us reach our 2026 objectives. And so, we had the leaders there and they worked together, in these kind of interdepartmental work groups to come up with those activities are. And so we're continuing to do that work. But as you learn more about our 2026 objectives, you will know that our leaders had a hand in determining how we'll get there. We also had our all-staff meeting, which occurs every quarter. If you've noticed this year, if you've ever gone by the TDR on a Monday or Friday around 2:30, you'll see a big group of us gathering for our huddle. We have a weekly huddle. We began our week with a huddle and we end it with a huddle, which is great because prior to this, the only touch point we had with all of our team members was quarterly. And so we just finished our quarterly staff meeting and we do this for every single shift. And that means we do it in the afternoon, so first and second shift can meet together, and then a core group of us stay have another meeting around 11:30 for our third shift staff. It is our intention and our desire that everybody who works here at Horizon House feels connected, no matter which department or which shift they work on. And so we're doing that, through the all staff meetings. We also, every year we do some fun things. We do the picnic, and then we do a meal, a staff meal around the holidays, and we do that for all shifts. So just to, let you know how we do work to keep our staff engaged. Another staffing question, as many of you know, our dearest Linda Purdy is going to be retiring. And I mean, it's pretty, significant, given what she means to our organization and what she means to the history of our organization. When all of our team members retire, and I've heard from you, that we don't want to make differences, but I know that Linda Purdy works with a lot of residents in particular. So there'll be more to come. I want you to know that we are planning. She is having and has had her hand in really crafting this farewell that is really deeply steeped in the work she does as the chaplain here. And so that will be coming forth, I believe, in March. I wanted to let you know that I am involved directly with the recruitment for her successor. Lori has a lot on her plate, so I've taken that off her plate. I'm going to be working hand in hand with Linda, but just letting you know, we will have residents involved in this process. It's an important cultural position to our culture, and we need the voice of residents who participate in, her wisdom poetry groups and different things, so that, whoever we bring on board, you'll have a good feel if they're going to be able to, serve this community in that capacity in a way that's important. We're a very diverse community, and chaplaincy for us means serving people of various faiths or no faith at all. And so we need to make sure that we have the right person for that role. So please stay tuned. You'll hear more about that. In terms of the West Tower update, we are at 150 reservations as of January 20th. We're still, plugging away. We have a new monthly goal of 4 deposits per month. We do have a new sales team member in the back. Her name is Ani Shivachev. Please raise your hand, Ani, so everybody can see you. As many of you know, Camilo has moved on, and he's doing great. And so we knew that we needed to continue to support both West Tower sales as well as independent living. And just so you are aware, where we had those teams, we had kind of team selling where, somebody was selling West Tower. We had Valerie focused on independent living. All of our independent living sales team will be selling everything in independent living. We still have Bonnie selling assisted living, which is a much different type of sale. And so we don't have the division between West Tower and independent living. We're one campus. We're selling, and we're selling Horizon House and meeting people where they are. We know some people need to move right away. We know some people have a different price point. Whatever it is, we can meet their need at Horizon House, and that is how our sales team is approaching sales moving forward. So I wanted to let you know about that. We do have the groundbreaking event next Monday. So this time next Monday, we'll be hot and heavy in groundbreaking activities. And so it is going to be a wonderful event. We hope that residents will show up and participate. This is for the entire community. It's, really about our growth as an organization, not, as much about the West Tower as some sort of building. It's just our expansion and us, continuing to root in this First Hill Seattle neighborhood. We hope to have the mayor here. I do have a confirmation that Joy Hollinsworth, who is now the council president, will be here to speak, as well as partners, all of you, and future Horizon House residents who will be moving to the West Tower will be here. So it'll be a festive day. And that'll be from 1 to 4:30. And the details of that are in the alert. Following that, the next week, we're having our second equity luncheon. And that's going to be on Wednesday, February 4th from 11:30 to 1 p.m. If you know of anyone who either is a person of color interested in moving to Horizon House, or somebody who has influence and can support educating communities of color about life plan community living, about Horizon House, we invite you. And we especially want to make sure that we are doing outreach into the African American, the Asian community, the Latino community, and Native communities. It's very important. I've heard from all of you a lot how much you want to live in a diverse community. Every time I'm at a West Tower event with someone who has made a deposit, they ask me, what are you doing with the diversity? So much so that one of our future residents has joined our Community Relations and Diversity Committee. So this is something that's important to everybody, and we really, really want to make sure that we are doing our due diligence to welcome more people from diverse backgrounds to live at Horizon House. If you have any suggestions and want to invite people, we did do a mailing, but we know what's powerful. What's powerful is you individually inviting someone. So if there's somebody you believe would benefit from coming and learning, we are not selling anything, we're educating. And it's called equity because we know that communities of color don't have the information about the models of life plan communities and what it can do for people in terms of the longevity of their living. And so we want to create this equitable kind of learning experience so communities of color are not only able to move because they have a need or something bad has happened, that they have the privilege of coming and being able to prevent health issues and prolong their quality of life. So if you have anybody, please have them send their email addresses to me or to Diane as soon as possible so that we can get an invite out to them. And then we'll follow up with you so that you can extend a personal invite. And just to let you know, I will be out of the office on February 20th, and that's a Friday. I'm going to Maine for my son's final swim meet of his entire career. So I've been a swim mom since 2012, and so I'm going to be retiring and supporting him at his last championship meet. So I'll be out of the office. Our next fireside chat is Friday, January 30th. We hope to see all of you. It's been a long time since we've gathered and got an update. December seems so long ago. But thank you all, and I look forward to seeing you next Monday, and then again, hearing from you, inviting your friends to our equity luncheon on February 4th. I'm going to turn it over to Jennifer Stucker. Thank you.
Thank you. Greetings, everyone. Guess what's going to happen on Monday, February 2nd, 2026? Oh, so you've heard the rumors. We are happy to welcome shoppers and looky-loos to the market's new location on the 3rd floor. The moving in process is ongoing, so expect there to be changes over time. And you should know you use the elevators in the lobby to get to to access the 3rd floor, where you want to then go straight ahead into the various apartments. As announced previously, given the new configuration of sales rooms, additional volunteers are needed, including substitutes. So please contact Elizabeth or me if you are interested in contributing. On that note, many of you have expressed a willingness to retrieve items from the donation bins. We need to establish a schedule for that task. Several of our veteran workers have already been scheduled. There will be 2 pickups daily, 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Items will then be taken to the 3rd floor to be dropped off. So if you are interested in being a bin emptier, please come to the 3rd floor tomorrow. That's Wednesday. Say from 10 to 12. And you can sign up if there are spaces still left. People may be rushing to get their name on the list. Probably room 343, right at the very beginning. So just so you know, transferring items to the workrooms is an essential part of the smooth workings of the market. Many thanks to all of you who have been of help so far, and those of you who have offered their time and efforts until we reopen. Now, Elizabeth has this announcement. This next week, we will begin accepting the donations of housewares, office supplies, and such items except for furniture. Bring them on Wednesday or Friday to floor 3 between 1:30 and 3. If you wish to donate furniture, please phone Elizabeth to discuss acceptance and delivery. So, that's it. And now we have Shan, the treasurer.
A number of you had indicated that you'd have more information about the finances. After my report today, you may decide that you don't like, but we'll see. I'm going to tell you two things. First of all, what happened in 2025, and then what I think is ahead for 2024. 26, yes, I'm going backwards. Okay, 2025 year end. Now there's a lot of numbers over on the left, but there's a full report that has those numbers and more in the library in a folder that is labeled Residence Council Financial Reports 2026. This is the December 31, as of December 31. So don't worry about the numbers, but I'll just summarize. That we had an operating loss of $27,778. That is less than the loss that we had budgeted by quite a lot, actually. I think we budgeted around $49,000. But we did have to cash in a CD early in December in order to cover our cash flow when we didn't have any income coming in from the Monday market. As a result, our bank balance right now is rather large, 55,000 plus, and our reserves are down to 126,354. This isn't a serious problem. We will probably be able to put some money back from the CD that was taken out. And in addition, as you're going to hear, we're expecting some funds to come from the board of Horizon House by the end of this month as a grant to help cover some of those losses. I want to just give you a little bit of a picture of what we did with our money. About 76% of all of our funds went to program committees and programs that you all enjoy. 13% went to what we call outreach. Almost all of that was for the employee gift fund, donation to the employee gift fund. And then only 8% went to administration, which is good. Nonprofits like to keep their administrative costs low as they can. And then we had about 3% that went for contingencies. A lot of that was program. It was things that came up that somehow were unexpected and had to be covered. So, in addition, you might say, well, what programs? Well, this is kind of an interesting thing, and some of you may like charts and graphs, and others of you may not. Whoops, there it is. But this is something called a Pareto diagram for those who know such things. And what you see in the bars is the amount of money that we spent in the 10 program areas that were introduced earlier. And 35% goes to entertainment of all of our program costs. There's, another, we get up, if we add the arts participation, which is the art that we hang, and the choirs, the Horizon House singers and Sal and so on, things that we participate in, now we're up to more than half of the expenditures. And when you add education, many great programs, the Science Committee, the History Committee, and so on, now we're up to 70%. So you can see a little bit where our funds have gone. And I will tell you that the budget for the coming year looks very similar in terms of where we are putting that money. Okay, now, So what's ahead for 2026? Well, this is a teaser, just to let you know, people have asked. You know that most of our guests will not be able to park in the university garage. So there is a new procedure to reimburse now what we're calling not just a parking reimbursement, but transportation/parking reimbursement. However your speaker came, they can get reimbursement for transportation/parking. And it will be a flat fee of $12. No need to have a receipt, but you will need to let Cammie know when you do your blue slip asking for a speaker's honorarium, or if no honorarium is given, a blue slip if that's all they want, to get this. Now, there are going to be details about how to do this, how to fill out the form, what's in it, and so on. But I'm not going to tell you today. You're going to have to send your program chair or a representative to the meeting that Bill Augusta will have on Friday at 10 a.m. here in Anderson to give program chairs information about what we're doing in the coming year. So this is a teaser to get you to come to that. What else is ahead for 2026? Well, this is, again, the budget. It's available also in that folder in the library, so you don't really need to worry too much about seeing all those numbers. But the good news is that by the end of this month, we should have a grant of $80,000 in the account. That is a grant from Horizon House Board, and it is a very generous and not very restricted grant to cover our activities. And so that will help us cover the loss that you saw from last year. And we were thinking when we did this budget, and this was really what you call a simple wild-ass guess, that we would probably need another $48,000 in the coming year. But once the Monday market opens and we get to see how much money we're bringing in, we'll have a lot better idea. In order to stay on top of it, we're really going to need to monitor our income and expenses very closely over the coming year. And in addition, Ronnie and I will be meeting quarterly with Christy Seymour, the CFO, in order to really keep her apprised of where we are financially. And should we need more money from the board in order to cover the losses that we have, then we'll be able to do that. So that's the plan for the coming year. And, whoops. Yep, this is there. And as a new thing, I plan to be available in the Fireside Lounge after every RC meeting. And that's for those of you who really can't get enough of numbers and didn't fall asleep during this report and want to go into more detail. And now, Mary Ann will do the minutes.
The minutes were circulated for the December 20th general meeting, and corrections were made. And are there any other corrections for those minutes? Hearing no corrections, is there a motion to accept the minutes? No motion. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm learning. Thank you. Okay, so I just press the little thing. I press this. Okay. And next up is Marcia.
Good afternoon, everyone. What a great crowd. I want you, whoops. What a great crowd. I want you first to thank yourselves and congratulate yourselves for a wonderful, wonderful result to the Employee Gift Fund. As you know, I had the privilege last year of leading the Employee Gift Fund, and I was a little bit nervous at the beginning, I have to say. I didn't want to give less than we had the previous year, and we had 41 fewer residents and 3 more employees. Am I supposed to advance this somehow?
Just use that arrow. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. So those were my challenges. Bigger than, I can deal with those challenges more than I can with technological challenges. But you responded unbelievably, wonderfully well. You contributed a total of $520,000, $288.87. And that includes the $10,000 that we received from the Residents' Council, which Shan mentioned in her 13%. And it also includes $5,794 from the arts sale, which was a wonderful event, and we are very grateful for that. And then the result was that we were able to give all full-time employees $2,650. The previous year, that's really remarkable. The previous year, we had given $2,600, which was very amazing. And I thought, I do not want to have to give less. So I was so relieved when I got all of the information back from Brenda in Human Resources that we were able to go up and not down. So thank you all. Remaining, and the beginning balance now at the beginning of the year, because money continues to come in and continues to come in all year, the beginning balance at the end of December was $33,968. And would you believe it, that's within $100 of where we started on January 1st, 2025. I think that's just, I don't understand how that could happen, but I was just amazed. Anyway, we had a wonderful participation. 91% of independent living participated. 53%, 53% of assisted living. And so when you combine the two, it becomes 84%. It's really a remarkable percentage. And you all need to give yourselves a big thank you and round of applause. And now, Bill Augusta now.
As you've heard briefly, there's going to be a meeting this Friday here in Anderson Hall of the committee chairman, leaders of programs and activities, and the resource persons that you were introduced to earlier. What we would like to do is to improve the interaction and information transfer between the council and the committees. That is, the committees that are funded by the council. And the main job that the resource persons have is to provide the work as intermediaries between those two groups. And what I hope to do on Friday is to improve that sort of interaction and relationship. Also on Friday, as I think, Shan Creedon, the secretary, the treasurer, will talk about budgetary and financial matters and add more information to what she said earlier today. One of the most important things will be involved is trying to improve the interaction of the new residents with the activities that are so important here at Horizon House. There has apparently been a decrease in participation by new residents over the last year. And we would like to institute ways of improving that. One of the important things will be that the mentors that the welcoming committee provides for each new resident is that they will talk with them about this possibility and will give them a copy of the program booklet that has just been reprinted and brought up to date. And they will then have an opportunity to see what is available for them. In that regard, after this meeting and subsequent council meetings, I will be out in the Fireside Lounge available to take names and information from anyone, new resident or not, who is interested in coming into contact with an activity. I'll be glad to take your name and put you in, and then I will provide contact through the committee chairman, who will contact you and provide information for you. I'm hoping that this, among several other things we're going to do, will improve the chances of new residents becoming aware of what happens here and becoming involved in that way. The new program booklet that I just mentioned has been prepared and is available now. There's a copy posted in the mailroom, and you can see what that provides the description of each activity and also the contact information for the chairman or leader of that activity. Finally, I'd like to note that there are 3 committees that need chairmen, and so you have a chance to offer your services. The Photography Support Committee that provides just what it says, photographs for various other committees. The Holiday Decorations Committee, which is those are the people that decorate the Christmas trees. That needs a new leader. And finally, the New Year's Eve party, which we just had a few weeks ago, for this next year, we'll need a leader. If you are interested in being one of those chairmen, please let me know or any other member of the council. Now, the next person to speak will be Carol Ottenberg, who will be one of the spotlight speakers.
Hi, everybody. I'm really glad to be here because, as most of you know, I love to talk about jigsaw puzzles, and I love to talk about our enjoyment of them here at Horizon House. For those who may be new or newish residents, I just want you to know that you'll find the puzzle tables down on the B1 level, just one flight below us. You can go down the stairs, take the elevator. The tables are right near the pool table, Bill, and the salon. And it's also called the Parkview Lounge, so it can be confusing. B1, part of it is the Parkview Lounge. So you'll find there 5 puzzle tables. We wish we had space for more. We wish we had better lighting, so we're always looking ahead. The tables are open 24 hours every single day, except when a program or an event on the Fireside Lounge or on the adjacent terrace causes us to have to lift the puzzles. We have 2 tables for cardboard puzzles and 3 for wooden puzzles. I want to say that when Simon and I came here in 2008, there was 1 table and 1 cardboard puzzle on it. We offer different size puzzles for each puzzle group, so you're almost certain to find something your size, especially in the wooden puzzles, small ones, 80 to 100 pieces if you want to complete a puzzle while you're there, medium size, or something large, around 500 pieces to really dig into alone or with others. Now, our cardboard puzzles are kept in cupboards at the end of the puzzle area. Something special we offer is a checkout program for the cardboards. And I want to give a shout out to Risa Ransom, who thought of this during COVID when we were all locked in our apartments. She said, Carol, can't we have some kind of checkout program so people can have puzzles? Done. It's still going, and it's highly popular. So come on down, look through the cabinets, pick out something you like, sign it out, and enjoy it in your apartment for as long as you want. By the way, we have many, many, many 1,000-piece cardboard puzzles, all of them donated. Some of you are in this room, I'm sure. They're beautiful, but we don't put them out on our tables. They're too big. However, come on down and sign one or two out. Help yourself if you want to borrow one for your apartment and have a table big enough for it. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about our wooden puzzle collection, which is kept in cabinets near the puzzle tables. Most of our wooden puzzles are laser cut, which means their designs are programmed by a computer, and they are cut by a laser into dazzling shapes. They're less expensive than a handmade puzzle, and they can be enjoyed for many, many years. We also have one-of-a-kind hand-cut puzzles like this one shown above. Donations and loans vary our puzzling experiences and add to the variety and enjoyment of our table. A team of 5 manages all these wooden and cardboard puzzles. I see some of them in the room today. So Margaret, Ruth, Jerry, raise your hands. I'm a member of the team. I think Ann Pound isn't with us today. We each work a 2-week shift. We change the puzzles. We write in a logbook every puzzle that goes down on the table. We now have 9 or 10 logbooks in our files. We kind of judge the mood of the people at the table. Do they want something else? Are they happy? Is a piece lost, for heaven's sakes? No, we'll find it. And so on. We have more than 180 wooden puzzles in our collection now. Quite a change from that one lonely cardboard puzzle when I first came here. And each puzzle gets done about twice a year. How do we pay for all these puzzles? Some come by donation, as I've said. Enrichment grants allowed us to launch the wooden puzzle collection about 15 years ago. And recognition by your Residence Council affords us an annual budget. Thank you always, Residence Council. Each of us has our own approach to completing a puzzle. Some of us start with the borders. Some of us do the bright colors first. Others go for the whimsies or the figural pieces and try and get those together. See what these fellows are doing. No matter. I look forward to seeing you at the puzzle tables. It's a great way to exercise those little gray cells and to make new friends while enjoying top quality, colorful images, and varieties of our beloved puzzles. I can't be in the fireside lounge after today's meeting to answer any questions, but Margaret King will be on hand to visit you, and maybe Jerry and Ruth will stop by as well. Thank you for listening, and next up is May Gerstel.
Good afternoon. I am May Gerstel, co-chair with Laura Weiss of the Election Forum Committee. Today, Laura and I want to tell you about the work of our resident-run committee and how you can be involved. Election forums have been held at the Horizon House for many, many years. Residents really care about what happens in the world and want to participate. We have been told that our precinct has the highest voter turnout of any precinct in the city of Seattle. Candidates also know that the Horizon House residents vote and that there are about 450 of us. This year, the election forum will be co-sponsored with the First Hill unit of the League of Women Voters. The unit leadership here is shared by Sandy Bergen, Jeanette Collenberg, Madeline Betts, Mary Margaret Pruitt, and Laura Weiss. Our work starts right after the deadline for candidate filing in May. At our meetings, we decide which races to include before the August primary election. We immediately start inviting candidates because many other organizations are also planning election forums, and we're competing for the candidates' time. We invite all candidates who filed for an office that we are featuring. Before each forum, with the support of Horizon House staff, we prepare a handout for residents to write on. The handout features photos of the candidates and space for you to take notes. Each forum has a manager and a moderator. Meanwhile, we are preparing questions for the candidates. A question subcommittee chaired by Doris Ray does research on issues, receives input from all residents, and writes up the questions. And they meet weekly through much of the election season. After the primary election, which will be on August 4th this year, we go through a similar process, looking at the election results, and then we decide which races to cover in our final forums before the November 3rd general election. A lot of us have done this for many years, and we are eager to have you join our wonderful committee. How can you do this? Well, it's very easy. Please join us in the Fireside Lounge right after this meeting, and we'll sign you up and we'll answer any questions that you may have about the time committed and what's involved. The election forums fill Anderson Hall, like today, with more residents in the Fireside Lounge. And by the way, you can also watch the election forums on HHTV. Now, I'm very pleased to introduce the co-chair of the Election Forum Committee, Laura Weiss, who will tell you what is on the ballot this year.
Yes, what's on the ballot? That's really what's important coming up. You know, you've all heard this is the year of the midterms, right? And what does that mean? What that means is we're going to be focusing on the legislative branch of government, both at the national level and at the state level. Since the president is elected for a 4-year term, there's nothing we can do about him on the election front. But the whole House of Representatives, U.S. House of Representatives, is up. All their seats, 535, I think it is. And 1/3 of the Senate, U.S. Senate, I'm talking national level now. So when you get your ballot, you will be able to vote for our member of the House of Representatives in the 7th District. That's a seat now held by Pramila Jayapal. And one of our U.S. Senator's seat, Maria Cantwell, will also be on the ballot that you see. It's a similar thing at the state level. We elected a governor for a 4-year term. He's got 2 more years to go. But the whole state House of Representatives is on the ballot this year. And that means with our representatives, Nicole Macri and Sean Scott, their seats will be on the ballot. And for the state Senate, they're elected for 4-year terms, but it's staggered. And our state senator, Jamie Peterson, his seat will be up. So that's all happening. And then there's a few other races that we're looking at. The King County prosecuting attorney, Lisa Mannion, her position is up. And a number of judges, which is something we don't always think about, but all of the municipal judges in Seattle, 7 of them, their seats are on the ballot. And 6 out of the 9 state Supreme Court judges, I think they're called. So that's a quick rundown. I think that's mainly what I wanted to say, except that, one other thing. You may know that there are some initiatives that have gotten signatures. Let's Go Washington, the organization that put some initiatives on last fall, they have 2 initiatives up, one on parental rights and one on transgender, prohibiting transgender girls in sports. But we don't know yet whether that's going to be on the ballot, because they'll go to the legislature first, and we'll see what the legislature does. Sorry, I think I need to stop talking. At any rate, it's going to be an exciting year, and I'd be very happy if you'd come and talk to us more in the Fireside Lounge after this. And just remember to vote. We're counting on you. I wanted to introduce Nancy.
That's me. Well, I know that February 2nd, which is a Monday, Groundhog's Day, the big event that day is Monday Market opening up. Well, I can't quite beat that, but I'm going to try, because we've got a lot of fun things happening that day. At 3 o'clock in Anderson Hall, we're going to show the movie Groundhog's Day. Anybody seen it? It's a fun, romantic comedy fantasy thing. Then at 7 o'clock here in Anderson Hall, we have Bingo, Banter, and Beverages. We have, this is going to be a wonderful event. I'm really excited about it. The bingo callers are 2 comedians from the local TV sketch comedy show, Almost Live. I don't know if anybody remembers that show from the 80s and 90s. That's where Bill Nye, the science guy, got his start. The comedians are Matt Smith and Joe Guppy. I want to give a shout out to Bill Kepper for helping me find them. Thank you very much, Bill. Matt also played the mailman in the movie Sleepless in Seattle. So these are big-time comedians that are going to be here being our bingo callers. Both teach improv classes. In addition to playing bingo, we're going to have light snacks. I do mean light. Wine, beer, mixed drinks, and non-alcoholic beverages. But more importantly than anything, there's going to be prizes for the bingo winners. And all of this is free. It's a courtesy of an enrichment grant. Space is limited, so you do have to sign up in advance for this. The sign-up sheet is right now in the mailroom. There's only about a week to get signed up, and then the sign-ups close. So I hope you get your name on the sign-up sheet soon. Did I mention there's prizes? I hope to see you there.
Okay, well, I hope you all remember the wonderful fiber art show we had last year, and we're getting ready to do another big show this year. This year it's the photography show. It's sponsored by the Art Committee. The Art Committee has a rotating schedule of shows, so it will be photo show this year, art show next year, craft show the following year, and then fiber arts. So there's plenty of shows for you to demonstrate your talents. The show is going to be a 2-day show here in Anderson Hall, and it will be March 24th and 25th. And to give you some more details about the show, I'm going to give you our advertising chair for the show, and that's Carol Solly.
Hello, I know you've been waiting for this, not just because it's the end of the meeting, but because it's an important event. And the photo show is going to take place. Those of you who have been, you know how fabulous it is. Those of you who have not have a treat in store, and it'll take place right here from that wall to the windows, filled with a display artistically done by our coordinator, who is Marianne Counts, and filled with extraordinary photographs created by all of you, hopefully all of you residents and employees. And for the first time this year, West Tower depositors will exhibit some entries. And there are many details that will be coming and unfolding in the next weeks in various ways. But there are 3 important things that each of you should remember if you start planning early looking at your photos. Each photographic print must be framed or attached to a mat so that it can be displayed on a table rather than hung. And I lost my train of thought here. Isn't that unusual? I should be studied. And those who are doing the early planning must remember a really 3rd important thing, which I think you already are aware of. It has to be your own work, and you just can't turn in a Curtis print with your name written over it, which nobody here would try to do that. So there are a lot of questions you might have about entry forms, which will be coming to you February 15th, and other details, as I said, will be unfolding. But if there are burning questions, oh, sorry, Bill, you can talk to me out in the lobby at the Fireside Lounge. Marianne has a literary event to attend, so she may not be there, but I'll try my best to answer your questions. And I hope you enter. And I hope you attend and invite guests, and we'll see you soon. Thank you very much for your listening.
Up next is Bill with burning questions.
Thank you. The burning question for today is, what happens to prepared food in the dining room that isn't served? It is leftover, not leftovers from plates, but leftover in the kitchen. The answer is that as much as possible, that food is recycled. That is, it is used in preparation for the next day. If there are mashed potatoes left over, they can be used again. For example, meat and vegetables also can be prepared into new kinds of plates. Some of the bistro servings, for example, have food from the night before or earlier. So as much as possible, the food is reused or used in a later way. It is not possible, as people frequently ask, that the food be donated to some other organization. That would be a frightful legal responsibility. Actually, Horizon House does not run the kitchen. We hire Morrison Healthcare to run the kitchen, to run the office, to run the dining room and kitchen, and they have their own rules. There are also laws that require that we cannot give away food to other people. So inevitably, an amount of the food is composted, is lost. This is not at all unusual in the restaurant business. Somewhere between 10 and 40% of the food ends up that way. That is the answer to the burning question.
And Bill will be out in the fireside lounge for any other burning questions you have for him to research and report on next month. And now, are there any other questions, burning or not, that you would like to raise? Or are there any announcements that anyone would like to make? Yes. Just a minute, we'll bring a mic to you.
I understand that the tours or whatever are going to happen on Wednesdays.
The outings in the van.
Right. It seems to me that Wednesday is a very crowded day. We have the Wednesday night live. Is it possible that those could be at another day so people aren't rushed to get home, have some dinner, and get to a concert?
We've been working with Brian Byers on this. As you know, he is our transportation manager. And the van is being used on other days for other purposes. There's one day that they take assisted living residents on scenic tours, and it seems to be occupied a lot of the time. But this is a trial. If we find that Wednesdays are not good, then we'll try something else. I don't think that these outings are going to last, beyond 4 o'clock. I think everybody will be home by 4, which should give time enough for dinner and then going to the music. But if it doesn't work, if it's not a good day, we will review and try and change it. Yes.
Yeah, on that same kind of note, people are being encouraged to give up their cars, and I understand some people are doing that, and I think we're finding that we may have to consider a second van, because I called to make a reservation for the grocery store, and it's 10 days out. I think that's not what I thought when I signed up to come here. And so I think that, we're going to need more. And then just to dovetail on the activities, I think it's hard, but it would be good if they were kind of rotated. I mean, I have something on Wednesdays that's an obligation, and so it means every single trip I can't be part of. And then the walking tours that were well received by a lot of people, it required that you are able to use an escalator, and I'm not very good at escalators, so I was kind of cut out of that one too. So I guess my advice is variety is good.
Thank you. I will advise Barbara McHarg that some of the tours she should do without the need to use an escalator for those of you who can't. I know that there is an elevator in the conference center as well as the escalators. And again, we'll keep an eye on things. I'm sure that Brian is keeping an eye on how much in demand the grocery vans are, because he will want to make sure that everybody can buy their groceries in a timely way. There are a whole lot of issues with those vans, I'm learning. We all wish it were bigger and that you could get into the back seat more easily. But there are height limitations, it turns out, and I think some other limitations as well that I'm not aware of. So we'll keep plugging away as best we can. Thank you for the comments. Anything else? No other announcements? gee, there's not enough going on here. You don't have announcements to make. Thank you very much for attending, and we'll see you next month.
Ronnie, I just want to make it public. I understand that Ildiko is not